Hi, Abdul.
What's up?
Yeah. Especially when we didn't interview together. Or just sitting down to actually like encourage people.
Actually.
Interesting. Okay,
Apart
so
from when we are gossiping.
finally I'm gossiping. Alright, so let's get into it. Yeah.
Alright.
So let's go back to the beginning. How did you start it? Like, who called you first?
Okay. I think I remember the story. Like I remember it was yesterday. Funny, it was like 3 years ago.
My own brain, like I feel like I've been so sick in the past few days. Like now my brain is twitching and yeah, it's fine.
I remember the first time you spoke to me about it was about you wanted to make a film about a journalist that her informants
We're dying.
the informant died. And I remember you said you wanted a scene on Third Mainland British.
I can't laugh, so I'm not feeling too bad.
Those are the two things you said. But I think something that informed you said it was like from what the journalist that did the documentary.
Yes, it's supposed to be
Kiki was inspired by them. What they went through, how they were Sex for Great documentary.
I remember they had to like be
they were hiding because
like,
of how
about how it turned out. And I've also been like in spaces where I know after generally relating the story,
it's become
they have to find a way to get so like everybody that they're this person like
they have to go into hiding, it becomes dangerous and all that.
We have had that identity came from. I remember
stuff.
Okay.
So and then after that conversation, I remember when we went to Michael's house to get games, I now asked you that how far our
you think I was serious about making the film? You like when I came to meet you, you know the way people can come and say I have stories. So do you think like at the beginning when I said my brother wanted to make it, do you think I was serious?
Yes, I thought you were serious from the beginning. But from the first time you talked to me about it, I was very
interested.
Yeah,
because I didn't be serious. So.
Yeah, I didn't sound like I was, but I was actually. That's why I was asking you that they were at Michael's house. How far were this thing? You know, said. I remember you were about to drive over, like, we'll see it. Then one day you just sent a message. Oh yeah,
I was going through midlife crisis.
Mother and I have been discussing your future.
I've already told you I'm not interested in the family business. These are the steps I need to take to become the journalist of my dreams.
So how's that going so far?
All you do is sit around here and occupy space. Another motherfucker!
No matter what happens, we're in this together. What can I do to help?
The things in that folder ruined my life. There are very dangerous people involved.
You saying that those people mod V, baby?
Yes.
I fear it's as we suspected. And you know what needs to happen.
Alia, what's happening?
I need your help.
Is that your final decision?
Yes.
Please help me. No, please. I didn't like you much for them.
There are these stages in my life where it just feels like I just get bored. Even if I'm working, like everybody feels like I'm working. But again, maybe I've done like same thing over and over again, like a period of time, and I'm just like, okay, what can I do to just push myself out of like my comfort zone? And that was where I was like, yeah, I just finished the project. So I needed to just do something that was like, yes, like stretch yourself. I like something that just stretches me, like you did. I was like, okay, Abdul, let's get into this.
I was at a point where I wanted to do like something bigger than what I had done before. And what I think the biggest thing I'd done before that was Brotherhood. And I was just a writer then. I wanted to back something and not just be a writer on a project and do something that I can say that, oh, this is my film. Like this project and it's something that I'm invested in more than just writing and letting go. When people tell me ideas, I can recognize the idea that is going to be something big. But when someone tells me a story, I just feel like, this is something different. I felt that way the first time Jade called me about Brotherhood. I knew I was going to do it regardless of what the pay was, even though I still talked about people. I knew I was going to do it because I felt like it was unique. I felt the same way when you told me about Rixel, and it was different, and I felt challenged. And I was like, okay, let me invest in this. And Bani also, you know how Bani talks. I remember we went for a rave, and we were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, now let's do it. You know how Bani talks.
We're going to I remember when I told Bani now, you said, Nora, we're going to Abdul, we're going to
No. So it was just like, also, yeah, and that's sort of, it was sort of like a next stage for all of us. Like it felt like we had come a long way. We have done things.
Like what next?
Yeah, it was not next for not just me, but for all of us. So it just felt right.
Everybody.
Yeah, just felt right.
And you know, we also had like where everybody felt like we all were very close, so we have made something.
Yeah, that has been lingering since.
Now there's somebody championing this.
Yeah,
and
it just made sense to just align.
Align and back it up.
Yeah.
Myuu was very special because I got the chance to work with friends and a lot of people that I'm always going to, work with for a long time, people that I've admired. I remember Abdul. I met Abdul when I was shooting, something for Anakin back in the days before I became a director. I met him as a model, and then we became friends then. I've always been a fan of Nora when she was doing her fun photography. I got this person on Instagram, always posting really good stuff. Look at this girl, and then I got a chance to, work on the same set with her during FFH, where she was the image photographer for Netflix. And like, I was, of her images. I didn't get as a freelance eye. She knows what she's talking about. And we both spoke then of working, together. I was like, if you have any adverts or anything, just call me. I'm going to direct, I'm going to that picture. Like, yeah. I just thought that she brushed me off. I said, okay, myself. Like, don't be talking your own. And she's focusing on her own money-making life, And then one day I'm chilling at home and I get an email that, okay, what's up? I'm doing this and stuff. I want something to do. I was like, hey, this okay. And then boom.
I mean, this is Nora's first film, first full feature film. And in a way, at least I was privy to the whole process of, it happening. Just seeing how a young person can have a dream and actually go ahead to actualize this dream, and also, be different in their approach, dare to be different, dare to be excellent, and all of that I found very exciting, and also the power of collaboration, because this was a very, very collaborative process. It was good friends in the industry who are just trying to achieve, something beautiful. And I was glad to be part of that.
In putting the story together for Red Circle, and I guess also you could expand it to other things, how attached are you to those first drafts, especially when you hear feedback from like an actor who you haven't yet worked with, who has not yet maybe not proven themselves, but who you haven't yet formed that kind of bond or relationship with? Like, what was that like, getting the feedback that, and I know later on there was contention because there were different things, but how closely do you attach to the script that first bit? And what is that process like when you get feedback? And when do you decide, okay, yeah, I do want to do this, or this does make sense? And I'm curious about that.
When I send first drafts out, I'm ready for the worst. It's like the first cut of a film. Like, I'm ready for. So the feedback I got, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
It was because it's just the first draft. Like, it's not in its final. Because everybody who read the first draft of Red Circle kept going, oh, I don't have notes. I'm like, why don't you have
notes?
So like I was prepared for, because I knew that that's not the final thing. The stage where I want it to be better. So I want to hear what you have to say to make it better. So when your notes for Pika came, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Like that, because I wanted it to be dissected as much as possible.
So then my follow-up to that would be, as a producer, sort of like talking to actors out there, how often would you say when an actor like me receives a script, maybe from a producer they haven't worked with yet, you don't yet know personally, how often would you say, actually, do interject, do say, this is what I noticed about the script? It would be, do you think producers would be receptive to that? Or do you think people, because that was my fear.
Yeah.
The reason why it even took a while to even respond like one word, because I was like, I don't really want to do this because I don't get it, but how do I tell these people I don't really get it?
As a producer, for me personally, I want to hear. I want to hear the actor, because the actor is the one playing the role. I want to hear it, especially when the note is not about. It's about making it better. And not like changing the story. Imagine your note was, I don't want her to be a journalist. Like what? What the note is about, I want to make her a better journalist. It's a different constructive criticism. So those are two different things. So I personally am always open to hearing notes from everybody, actually, even if actors, gaffer, DP. Just say what you think. Cool. I might not take it, but I want to hear it.
But you want to hear it.
There was a board that we had written down in the writer's room, like break down.
Yeah.
We broke down like the strengths, the weakness of each character, and now said who are people that fit into look like this.
I think for Fikai, I remember we had this conversation. We wanted someone that could be bougie and still effortlessly
and play the character
and be a good actor. A good actor that can be effortless that can blend into the rich Ajebo vibe without trying too hard, but also be because.
And we're not really, and I think one thing that we're very intentional about with the leader, we're not really bothered about the lead numbers. We just felt like we need every other person around. Just supporting the lead for what we wanted the lead to be. So it was, you need to fit into this character and be a very good actress. You get forced to choose you. Then our own work is find people around to support you, elevate what your character is supposed to look like.
In terms of casting, when you guys were casting for Red Circle, who was your first choice for playing Fikayo?
From the writing room, we had a list for every character. Then we had an actor that we spoke to who it didn't work out. Then I think you were the second actor we spoke to about playing Fikayo, and you were not on board. Then you came on board. Then you wanted to travel, which is a pretty sad nightmare. A actor telling you that in the middle of the shoot, she's going to travel. And we had a conversation about, do you want to go ahead with Tolu? And I personally have like a casting thing. Speak to one actor at a time. And that is something I had shared with Nora and everybody.
I had like very long fights that made no sense that our lead was going to travel to Ghana and come back. But I was so keen on Tolu. Like I was like, I had also worked on Baby Farm, and I could see the way she looked in front of the camera. Like I was like, no, like I don't have to stress too much. Like the person can act well, and also just fit into what we wanted.
What we had defined.
So it was now us trying to make it work with our schedule, and I'm happy that it eventually worked.
It worked
because we were so scared. Abu was like, hey.
I wasn't having.
I'm like, there are few actors I can bank on, like taking that decision. I know I kept saying, I was like, I think I trust. And I don't know her personally, but I just felt like she was very professional working with her on the other side. And I think again, the same crew members, you don't know what they see, do you get and what they don't see. I just have Polypolo investments.
I remember my producer called me investments. I had to travel partway through the project, and everybody was on the edge. They kissed. And I mean, I'm sure they cared about it, right? But they really cared about the investment. And it's important, but it's an important part of the work that we do. Like, you have to think about that. So you thought you were nervous. Trust me, I was like, because I remember I think my team wanted me to do something, and I was like, guys, this girl has put her whole like life on the line for me. Like that, nothing can go wrong. My brother, I was flying with my brother as well because it was a wedding that I had bought a flight for from the year before because it was a very dear friend of mine. But I remember even when we were flying, my brother was like, "Oh, do you think we could go to?" I was like, "Bro, as I may explain something to you. See, I don't shoot parts of the film. As I'm here like this, is one day we're gonna go. Hey, I've been. Oh my god, and I'm going right because everyone, the wedding party was so confused. They're like, "Oh, you're not staying. You didn't." I was like, "No. I just wanted to cite my friend, snap picture that we came to the wedding."
But I just kept telling her, "Oh, you're my investment. I'm big. And I think that's why even the dynamics of our relationship
Yeah,
changed
because that was very risky. That was production-wise, that was not a good decision.
Yes, at all.
Until we got on the flight and like landed in Lagos, and I was like, all right, cool, we made it. So it was a thing.
She came to run everything. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not back to the hotel." When she came back in, I was like, "Everybody, she's back." And they were like, "Okay."
But I remember not saying this to the babysitter, our investment is back. That is
when you can exhale.
My first reaction was like, "Please, what do this?" Like, poop, bitches. That was actually my first reaction. I really liked the ending. I liked the plot twist. I got the story. I didn't understand how it did. That was my first reaction. Because I'm a sucker for like information and detail, the more I spoke to Laura, the more I understood really the motivations behind writing the story, the motivations behind each of the characters. I understood that there's so much thought and development that had gone into the character, and that was what made me really excited, because when you're telling a story in a collaborative way, you want to trust that the people who are responsible for bringing the story to life, other than the actors, are just as invested in the story world as you as an actor become once you say yes to the project. So that was what shaped my decision to be like, "Oh no, let's get on board." That level of detail and attention to detail, I care about what was happening to the characters and being willing to mold the story world so that it works even from an actor's perspective. Like I really value that. Yeah.
So I was more excited about the team of people I was going to be working with, because these are like young, like not up and coming, but like the young guys doing breaking bank creatively in the industry. So I was very excited to be part of that team, and even being called to play that character, it was something different from a lot of characters I've played. So I wanted to see what they saw, which was why I came to the project. Yeah, so I was excited.
So when Nora told me that I was going to be the one directing Red Self, I think it was Nora and Abdul that morning, when they told me after the writer's room that I was being one directing, I was really excited, because it's a story like throughout the entire process. I was really, visualizing the film as we were developing the story, and I was like, wow, if I get to direct this film, like it's gonna be something. If anybody gets to direct this film, it's really gonna be something, because the story is special, the story is engaging, and it's unique, and the structure that we were going for was so intentional, so different that it felt like a director's delight, And yeah, so when Nora and Abdul told me, I was super excited.
I mean, for me, once I love the story, I understand the script, I stick to the director, concerning the character, what's their vision. So here we had the luxury of talking to the story writer, also the director and producer, and, I got a feel of how they perceived Detective Carlo in this story. And I went there to love. I went to love, that's where it got me. So yeah, I had to shave my beard, and a lot of the preparation was on set, because I tried to prepare at least, have my lines ready. But as an actor, I think more my method is go have the ideas, but also go as a canvas ready to be painted on by the director. So I went ready and also flexible enough to, follow the directions of my director. And after like day 1, day 2, I already got a flow of, okay, this is how the director envisages and wants this character to be, and then the rest of it was pretty much plug and play.
Toby is, you're a very driven and a very focused person. Like the thing you set your sight on, like that's where you're going. But he's also like really pleasant. Like he's a nice guy. Like you're genuinely like a nice guy. You're really driven. You're really hardworking, and I really admire that. I admire that you set your sights on things that seem unachievable to people, but you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do and I'm going to push, and you keep trying to find the way, and things like that inspire me. I like being around people. And to be honest with you, a lot of people on this set, that was kind of the energy, which is what I think made filming this project so cool. But particularly about you, like, I really like that. And again, like, the development and the growth has been like inspiring to watch, which is cool.
Thanks.
Yeah,
One of the choices production made that got me like fully on board. Yeah, because I feel like there's that taste you bring, which is very unique. Because a young person, you're unique. Your approach to work is one of the best I've seen. Like, there's no complaining. There was no part like that was like,
you know. For Ochisco, we had option 1 that didn't work out, but then like it ended up being Latif, and Latif is amazing.
Every time we enter into a room and you're watching the Red Circle and you get to that show's character. Even certain lines that when I was watching, I probably did not even think that I landed.
Yeah, but
like
he
that.
landed well.
You're
Like,
getting a banana and everybody else. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, sure. One banana.
Tó máa ń wá banana ìwọ lọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ tó fẹ́ fún o.
Bóyá kẹ́ gbé banana fún ọ̀gá àfọ̀ṣì mi báyìí.
Àdúgbò mi ò láìkì wèrè o.
funny, Otaru ended up being the hardest to cast.
Yes.
Because we kept even.
And we found Ibrahim.
Yeah,
because he had tweeted.
He had tweeted, and
because it was like, we were already posting that we're in the right house room. Yeah, so it was like, this is when I did cook or something. I gotta stay inside though. You just got like, okay, why not?
And I think something we also tried to do was cast actors against type. Like we tried.
This is not what you
this is not what you
like
typically see
Suleiman,
Ibrahim.
This is not what you see like
Macaro, Mike, and all those people.
Yeah.
Like just try to give actors something different.
Mike Afolarin, I remember when he called me when he got the role, and it was like, I'm not quite sure about this character. Like, he doesn't say much in this film. And Mike was the actor that I had to make him trust me. You know, all I told Mike was very simple. Just find the pockets. You know, that the way Latif is going to play Oshisco, there's going to be openings for you. You know, so just find the pockets and add what comes natural in the moment. You know, so certain times we go for intake and he'll say something, and then while we're saying something, I want those to talk to you, I told like, do this, and he goes and he does it. And Mike is special because Mike listens, you know, to his director and lets you guide him.
I just like to apply myself to the best of my abilities to any character that I'm playing, man. But I would say on this one, the team really helped because they gave me like every information that I needed. And then working closely with Latif Adedimeji, he's such an amazing actor. He's a legend, if I may say. That really helps me get into it because who I was on the first day of set wasn't who I was on the last day, and it was part of working closely with him. He really helped me and pulled me into the world. And yeah, just even shooting in Oshodi and seeing, you know, the kind of people that I was playing around set. Yeah, that was helpful as well.
KK received every time I was on set, there were endless questions. I was like, all right, so how are we going to do this? What frame are we shooting first?
Olu is another person that I really love working with because she challenged me as a director. You know, Olu would ask questions and you cannot hide. She'll ask you the question, you know, you have to answer. You know, I think he's a lawyer. Yeah. So if she asks you a question, you have to answer. You know, and she knows the right question to ask. You know, and then Marcus can ask you questions like can bullshit your way out of, you know, you tell them some philosophical things and they'll just be thinking about it and you just go and, you know, find the real answer in your own tight corner and probably come and tell them the truth. But Olu, there was no bullshit with Olu. She wanted to know, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And that kept me on my toes because I know if I'm shooting a scene with Olu, this woman is going to come and ask me a question. I must have an answer ready for her.
One of my favorite characters was always be like Chicken Branch,
Yes.
where
Did you have another option for that?
No,
He was the only one.
Yes,
He was the only one we
But, like,
wanted.
and the next thing he was special that said yes.
Yes, it was so easy to get.
He was like, yes,
I was
sent
like,
him contracts.
Once he read the script, he was like, yes,
sent him
send
contracts
contract, he
immediately and he
signed.
signed. Yeah, that was so cool.
Oh, you have a job. No, you want to work, Abi? Share? No problem. Work. Go and work. You want to work, Abi? Go on, go and work. You have a job. Not so? Very good. Go and work. Go and work, oh. Go. Hey.
mi kúkú ti sọ nǹkan tó yẹ kó ṣe fún ẹ. Tó bá wọn kó ṣe, tó bá wọn kó má ṣe.
And Buki writes.
Yeah.
Because you were.
I just wanted somebody that was like, I was looking for an older, like, woman that wasn't what we're going to normally see on our screen. Because I mean, we had like certain people like play like certain roles like regularly, and I was like, okay, so this woman that, and during that period, people were also talking about, I was like, okay, why not just find her and let her play the role? There's also the role that plays also in marketing. Do you get that? Like, let's just lean into that and like make it so good and come well.
Bestie me, Ikudoro, sisterhood.
Slipper.
Every time.
Because from writing the story, like I know that I wrote it because I wanted to the most unlikely person to be a hero at the end. If she didn't give a performance that would register in people's mind until that point, like it would not have landed.
Yeah.
So because we need someone that immediately she comes there, people will recognize her. So she had given such a good performance that she still stayed in people's mind till she did that. And that was amazing. If the actor had not delivered well, I don't think it would have landed.
That was fantastic.
That amazing.
And she knows, I don't think people noticed that she came with the bum pad herself to set. And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They're like, no, it works.
Yeah, that's what an actor understands.
Yes, it's always nice seeing actors actually add their tricks. I remember Timmy saying, I want to break pencil.
Yes, I think
the pencil bit.
Ibrahim and then the toothpick. Everybody
just brought something into their character. Even Tolu had said, oh, she needed a character to have like vices.
Yes. That was one of the notes she gave after that's why they started. That's why they smoked weed in that.
That's it.
Yeah, in the film.
Like this. You held it like this. Like you held it.
Did I?
It wasn't like this. It wasn't like that. It was
it like this?
Way. You were in character. I didn't remember.
I don't do such things in real life. That's why.
But it was just nice seeing that most of the actors like add their own to add and just improve their characters.
Right from the writer's room, there were key references already. We knew what we wanted the film to look like. We knew sort of films that we wanted to sort of not imitate, but use as key references. So when I was given the job of directing this film, straight away moved straight to looking at preferences and drawing inspiration from them, developed my treatment and sent it over to Nora. And with Nora's key understanding of colors, we developed a color palette that worked for this film, and we made sure that we stuck to it. A lot of times when you get a job, when you get a film to make, you create a treatment, you do a color palette. It's very difficult to stick to it. There are a lot of times production will say they can't afford it, but I got lucky to have the executive producer, be the cinematographer, and also be the person that designed the color palette for me. So she knew that this had to work, and she also has a standard that she wants to meet. So it's like very seamless, and working with people that I sort of grew, with was also exciting. And after the treatment, we had a period of recce, then we had a short breakdown where we went to Nora's house, so we spent a day or two just breaking down the movie scene by scene. We knew our first frame and we knew our last frame, right from that moment. So if anything happened on set, we're able to adapt.
What do you think in terms of how we managed the schedules of everybody?
My dear. Like I was meeting at your daily at some point.
Yes,
because
he
again, what I also learned from it is just saying, oh, you are going to be like on set for 3 days, but we need you for like 1 week.
I genuinely feel that shooting in Lagos, as hectic as Lagos can be, shooting in Circle did not feel particularly hectic to me, any more so than any production. In fact, probably less so. I remember the production team did a really good job in trying to make sure that we were cared for, that we didn't really want for anything, and most importantly, stuck as closely as possible to production schedules and timelines. That's a big deal.
Remember how we want to establish for Shodi, that shot that we did not get?
Yeah.
That the lights went off.
Yes.
I still think of that pencil today, and it still haunts me.
I was up on the crane.
Yes.
Yeah, we had like an establishment shot of what Oshodi was going to look like.
Yeah.
And there was this very big billboard, like
we had done
and the train station that was very well lit, and the bus station actually was very well lit. And I was already on We had done rehearsal.
rehearsal.
And the light was on. And we came down and started rolling. Action. I was up. Light just went off. Wow.
We did everything. We called the people. We offered money. Like we did.
I had faith.
Yes.
Because
Then
we found
they now
supervisor at the bus station.
Like,
yes, we found supervisor at the bus station.
with Chris's help,
Yes,
actually.
Chris's help, because I saw something there.
Yeah.
Then I had faith in the supervisor at the bus station to say, oh, like, can you guys help us?
Put on. It looked so beautiful. It was so good.
Bro, like, and we had been there, like,
when we went for a recce that we saw it, and we were like, this is how we establish Oshodi.
It was also at night, so there were like night markets. That the whole light there was also beautified, like the whole environment. That looked so good. I wanted. We're like, why give me no room this rehearsal? Like, what? That's crazy. We stood for like 1 hour
trying to figure it out.
How would actually meet that space?
I think after that day, every production I'm on, you must roll the rehearsal. Like, and that is one thing I learned from that day. You must roll rehearsal. I always tell DPs, like, everything I've shot after Red Circle, you cannot roll rehearsal. Like, and it was from that experience. Like,
just waiting catch up. Okay.
But yeah, you must roll
It's
it.
interesting that night too was also the day that man
came to say
somebody, we had settled people shooting in Oshodi. I mean, regular, call them Monile. We spent so much money setting people. We had settled like a faction. Yeah, we had done some, because we're shooting like different sides of Oshodi. We had done another like side of Oshodi. We had settled a faction. And we just saw this man come. Like, okay, limping, and just showed up. Like, I was on the crane. And it was like, so who's in charge of all of this? And knowing me, that I said, this project had actually like made me better. Knowing me, like, I'm very strong-headed, you get, like, I'm very stubborn in certain things, like, you cannot undermine a woman, you get all of these things. And this guy formed and he said, stop, can you come? I was on the crane and they were like, yes, that was in charge of this project. And I came down. But luckily enough, somebody from the aggro that we had paid had come to meet me and just looked in my ear and said, please, this person is an illiterate. Whatever I say, don't be angry. Don't say anything. Don't say clinical. They had said it's too icy for somebody. I don't want to mention the name. But don't just say anything. Just leave it like that. This. I was like, okay. I just came. I just walked. Sir, I'm the one in charge of what you just planning from up to down like this. I asked to call somebody, called a woman. Me, normal me. I would have. Even the director was sitting down and just like, you know, like, wait, what's going to happen? We don't react. Everybody just went quiet.
Yeah.
And thank God that guy had actually come to talk to me and say whatever this person says. I just realized also the money that I had invested.
I was tired. It was
yes, but I started drama. Like, we're not going to shoot that evening. I just walked away. And in my head, I was like, person that is the woman that is handling things that you don't talk to, person that would give you money. So maybe you got it for somebody else that you not give that man money.
No,
yes, because in my head,
he just ranted and left.
Yes, he just ranted and left. Because in my head, like, somebody saying that they're in charge of a production, I think you don't talk to women. So it can't be the same woman that you're trying to collect money from. And we eventually shot the same thing in the shooting in general. It was just really nice because I got to watch other people do a lot of their performances. It was my first time working with Lassie. I did it was just brilliant for me more. And then just that interaction with Ross, she's energy, it was so nice, the same partners in the same playing. And of course, because we were performing properly in the community, so it felt like open air theatre because everybody involved and watching.
Fix.
Yeah, the one that slept with 2 people in the film. So I said,
good. Attack immediately. So, there were a few things I know before the scene even happened. I'd spoken to a director about it. I wanted to know like what his vision was, how he was going to shoot it, what state of undress I would be in. I think what people don't realize is it's a very mechanical thing in figuring out, because there's a lot of like mechanics to figure out, okay, what's going to go where, because what you would do in real life is not what necessarily plays out well on screen. And of course, there's the comfort of your actors as well, which is really important. I had spoken to Toby, I think, beforehand, because I'm really respectful of I know that people just assume that the respect must always be towards the woman. Like, is she going to be okay with? But I also am like, please, are you okay if I touch you like this? Are you fine? Is it, so I will ask my scene partner, and I believe I spoke to Toby about it. I was like, okay, if I do this, is this all right? I knew I was going to have like sort of shorts on and whatnot. So it was really comfortable. And because we'd spent time already talking and getting to know each other, and I realized, okay, what are your boundaries? What are not your boundaries? That was fine. That was my experience of that. And I'll talk a bit about the role the director played as well in keeping it kind of a closed set. But a closed set in film world is still like many people inside the room. But yeah, I know. What was your...
Yeah, for you guys that see the scenes and you're like, oh my gosh, romantic. There's nothing...
They sweat.
Romantic as shooting an actual love-making scene. Is the most... But yeah, actual. Cut, pause, wait, hold that camera is how you guys saying is really not how it is. But, with that, I liked that we were able to have a conversation about it because there's always, and it's also trusting, your scene.
You trust your scene partner.
Yeah, and also knowing their comfort level. So I wasn't stressed because I know, there are people that probably didn't read the script and then they'll come and be like, as actors, our body at the time of action is not art, so we're lending our body to the art. It's pretty much how I play it, and then it's also just understanding when we have the conversation, your comfort level, okay, this is how we're going to play, because it has to look and feel the way it has to look and feel. And the director was very awesome in taking us on how he wants to shoot it. Okay, this is the level, this is how I want to show it, this is exactly what we're doing. So like it was very clear on how to go about it and also make it tasteful. Like, you watch it and then, it makes you feel what you're meant to feel, from how it's, being depicted. So that they don't just, give a lot. It was easy. Yeah, it was a good ride. And seeing how it looked on screen.
Yeah, guys, how it looked on screen. I need to tell you about the premiere.
Caramel and chocolate,
I need to tell you that at the premiere, I was sitting beside Toby and his wife. I forgot this scene was coming up. Next thing I know, mom, this motherfucker was whispering, what's coming? I said, Jesus. And she was like, I just got really hot, it's fine. She was like, it's really fine. But she was like, I did get a bit hot. I was like, no, it was so sweet. And I remember thinking that as well, even during the performance, because AKA Get Our director was very clear about what he wanted to get, how it was going to go. Our cinematographer as well was really particular, so she didn't take too much time with lighting and whatnot, just trying to keep the process moving. But it's very performative, guys. Like, I define my camera, my best lights. I need to make sure.
And I'm trying to make up in mascara. Moving your head so that the lights you gotta, being on my head shook. It was I was holding my breath.
That's true.
They had tension down.
Because I remember saying, bro, what are you doing? He was like, no, yes.
I can wait for it. Let them be like that. They do work for it.
That was cool. That was cool. Abdul, so was there like a particular performance or scene like while you were on set? Because you were on set quite regularly, if not every day, almost every day, that you saw and you were like, that's that magic. That's that shit.
The famous scene with Carlo, like the of course that just gave everybody chills, myself included. And another scene that was when you did the bad pitching.
Oh, I remember my heads.
Bad pitching scene with that was. But overall, it's really hard to pick. And this one stand out, but it was really hard to pick. Every shit, fully nailed every scene.
I beg, madam. I don't pay your money. You still did here, they yarn dust.
So what was the really the miracle moment during production out on set, and how did we pull that? We had two major moments here on set. Was church.
The church day.
We had how many extras?
I think we had about 200 there, 200 to 300.
At some point, we had even used almost all the extras in the movie. She gets like that.
Because we had a lot of big scenes.
Yeah, we had a lot of big scenes, and some people came again and they were like, oh, we've seen you.
Someone from the police station came.
Yes, came and we're like, you've been in the police station, why are you in court again? Yes, it was one of the scenes that were fresh.
Yeah, two challenging scenes. The one at the warehouse and the fight scene. So the one at the warehouse was quite tough because we were supposed to shoot that for day, That was the original plan. That was what was in the script. But then something happened. Our truck got stuck, I think, on the bridge or something. Something happened, and we had to shoot it for nights. And we forgot a very key factor: the fact that Timmy's character was going to make these guys pass out with smoke, but we didn't think of him wearing a mask. And it was when we were over, I was like, yeah, that's true. We need to wear a mask. And everybody looked at me like, why didn't you say that earlier? I was like, oh shit, I forgot, And Chris had to leave set to go get a mask for this scene, and it took some time. And then he came, and then we shot the scene. And then after when we did the first take, it was good, but I wanted more from Tolu. And it was like 3-something in the morning. She had been crying. Everybody's like, that place was so hot. Everybody's emotions were very high, and I had to go to Pula and say, yeah, I need to do it one more time. And that was difficult for she was like, eh?
I was like, what more do you like? I think I shouted at AJ. I think I shouted. He was like, no, I get it, but like, I really want you to just. I was like, really, you want me to lose my mind? It's like, yeah, go. So I'm like, all right, then. And I was like, everybody ready to actually because I'm not to be kidding.
For me, I'll say flawless. Like, you made the death of my character make sense. You made me feel from, a character passing. Because now I was shocked at the time, like, I didn't know what the emotion was going to be. I didn't know how the shot was going to be used. I didn't know the whole creative interplay will be used for.
Yeah.
But seeing the justice you did after that, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I know the type of thing. I know the grace. Except when it's key. And this one was key. You cried. I like, thank God I wasn't watching it alone. I genuinely will have cried.
The emotions that are moving through my body are very real. When you cry in real life, over something that's actually happened to you in real life, you're exhausted after because it's draining. It's physically draining. So imagine doing that for performance, several takes over and over again. It's crazy work. And then you have to do that at an hour when nobody should be awake. And that was really hard, especially because by the time that was done, everyone was so exhausted. They were just sort of packing up, but I was still crying. I couldn't stop crying. And it made me even more sad. And that's a part of performance that people don't talk about. Actors, it falls to actors very dearly in mental health, sometimes with their life, performing certain characters. And it's a hard reality. And it's why, one, it's so important for directors to pay attention to that aspect of actors. A lot of directors do not. They're just not aware of this, and they just haven't thought about what it's doing to that person to continuously visit a certain place or continuously run certain emotions through their body over and over again. So that can be quite hard, and it takes a second to get out of it and to get back to yourself.
When we watched the final footage, that's one more time was needed, and it's like, for me, the best part of the film. The hardest parts to shoot sometimes are always the best parts when they come out, because you guys go through hell and it shows.
So it was one of those days where everything went wrong, but the scene went very right. And I'm really happy that we showed it that way. And I'm happy that AK asked me to do more.
We had planned to shoot the fight sequences and the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I
not
was
small rain, no.
Yes, every rain thunder. I was very particular about wanting the sun not to be harsh. So evening or more rain started falling. Again, shout out to Chris Akaso. Thank you for saving us. I remember being so devastated.
It was starting to look like we would not be able to shoot that scene that day. And that was our last day. That was supposed to be our last day.
And we're like, we have to come back, get even Adams and Stunt's crew.
Yeah.
And come, we have to talk to the actors again. But that was supposed to be Mike's last day.
Yeah. And Latif as well, and Rugged Man.
Yes, Rugged Man. I was so devastated. I remember almost crying. And Christian is still like, oh, I think that you saw sawdust.
I didn't even know how someone thinks of sawdust to sawdust
Yes.
situation. And the way it
Me,
was.
I did not even believe.
Yes, because I was curious at when he brought the sawdust, when he did it first, I was like, okay, then my worry was not like, okay.
Now me to the sand.
Yes, and it will now become muddy. And the actors will now,
yes.
you now see sawdust on the
yes,
actor.
on their
Like, you
body.
like, I was very bored.
I did not think it was going to work.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you know, again, just say like leadership trickles down. So I was like, yeah, I believe in your team because we've also had like a very good bonding with the old team where we just needed to just trust in them to get that.
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments that I was like, Chris, I'm trusting you. I mean, fantastic idea. It's not your fault that rain fell. Do you get? But it worked.
Yeah.
And I was watching the footage and it really showed that rain fell.
Like sometimes I forgot that rain fell.
And the fight scene was very tough for me because we had like I think 4 minutes or so of card space. We had 4 minutes or so of card space left. We had a conversation with Oshisko and Super Glue that went on for a while. Yeah, and then we had a fight scene about to, you know, cover. How we did that, I don't know. I don't know how we did that. How we shot the entire bits, you know, that's credits to Nora, you know, for that part. How we made it work in that 4 minutes was just special. With the 4 minutes of class space, like special.
Like Ike said, we had like 1 minute on the card. Like so many things were just wrong that day.
It was chaotic.
We had like 10 minutes to shoot the whole fight scene. Like if we didn't get the whole running around for like I said, Tolu, I'm sorry, she gets, but this is what we need to do. But yeah, shout out to everyone.
I have to give credit to Ayodele Abraham, you know, the first AD, because on a set like that, you need someone's energy, you know, to lead the room. You know, where there are conflicts amongst colleagues and friends, you know, you need an AD that's sort of like a unifier, someone that bridges the gap, you know. There are certain times where I'm pissed off at Nora or at Abdul, you know, and I'm losing my shit, and an AD will come and tell me to calm down. Even though you piss me off in the next 5 minutes, and then somebody else will come and tell me to calm down, or I'll piss Nora off, and someone tell us to calm down. And, you know, because we were friends, we were able to just balance each other out. But we had fun making this film. Forget all these things, we had fun.
What surprised you most about any crew or team during this top production days?
So yeah, Chichi really impressed me in terms of I mean, everybody did, but he, because he was the one I had the most doubt about, to be honest. And he.
I fought for you, sure.
Yeah, because she did. I fought
for actually most of the people that were on this project.
I thought Chris, you didn't need to.
Yeah, I was like, why not?
Out of all the HODs, I think it was only Chichi that I wasn't sure about.
I was like, Chichi,
yeah,
don't worry.
But
I think I just trusted everybody because me, I was don't worry, just give, again, to not be nice, to not give your guys a chance.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, what's the worst thing? Help each other. That's why I was always like, guys, so any help that you need, I always go into any department and ask, like, what help do you need?
Yeah.
Like, do you need us to sort anything for production to just help you? Because again, it's just, and I think even on the toughest days, because I said a lot, do you know how many times I had mental crash out? Like, when we were shooting the red carpet thing,
yeah,
I was like, I'm not more doing it again. And Ayodele is like, you're doing it. You're doing the damn thing. And you're like, Nora, you do it. He said, when you get to post-production, don't use it.
Yeah, but do it.
And you know, at that moment, you know, as EP, you could have just flexed and said, I'm the EP, and not care. And again, they could probably have never cared. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So EP
everybody cared. Like, everybody took this project like it was their own. Like,
yeah.
it was,
so I kept telling them that this project is as much as mine is your do you get? And I think that went through even the energy they brought on.
Yeah.
Because every time I said no to something, I remember even Gidigbo's scene where you might eventually sat down. Me, I was like, we had lost it.
Yeah, what
are we doing? So not in the script.
Yeah.
But eventually came well.
And
we had scenes that we yank out.
Yeah.
You get that we had even spent all our time shooting and just
we ended up everything them.
Yeah,
but we
so
used that one.
Yeah. And we used that one that I didn't even put my mind in. So it just felt like everybody just felt like they had a contribution to the film.
Yeah.
You know, when we decided we were going to shoot this film, it was almost like, what do we want to do that we can different, that we could get like the eyes that wanted on the film to see it. And that was so random because even the changing the DP to red was not part of the plan.
Yeah, it was
something that rolled out without saying week that just felt like that was distracting and hitting the audience.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's pause on our announcement.
Yeah, and do that.
There was a sense of FOMO that was created from the beginning, from the cast reveal to putting up images of the red circle as our profile. You know, all those simple things were very sticky actions and it stuck to people. So branding for Red Circle was very distinct. So when people saw it, people were like, oh, this is that Red Circle thing again.
When Nora gave me the gig to direct this film, underneath all the excitement and everything, she told me that, oh, okay, we're going to shoot a cast review. I'm like, cool, just shoot a cast review now. Just get that to shoot a cast review. She's like, no, this is the script for the cast review. I was like, yeah, script for cast review. Like, what are we shooting? Okay. And I read the cast review, I was like, done. Somebody's jogging down the street. Turn around, what is she doing? The kidnapper. Clear the open space. Room. Everybody's gathered in a circle. Clear the Nora, what is going on? That was the first clue that this was going to be a big film.
Another video was an actual shoot.
Yes,
it was a
like
serious shoot.
Yes, actually.
It was
rented in
serious.
studio.
Yeah, when the studio, it was
had like
a
a whole
serious.
board.
We had to. The curtain was 6 a.m. because we had to get that early morning feel.
But seeing that come together, I remember playing for the actors at the reading, and they gave their feedback. I was like, this is cool. They gave their feedback. That also just energized like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Obanro was just come for that shoot, but he was not feeling fine.
He was not feeling fine, yeah.
And he felt so sad.
Yeah.
So he eventually came for the reading, but Mom was not available for the shoot.
Toby was not available. Toby was shooting in somewhere else, so he couldn't come.
Toby was not available, and Lati. So we had to put like a body double and now the scripts and now
cover their heads.
Yes, and told them send like voiceovers for us to now inside. So it's not like guesswork. That's the mystery of it.
Yeah,
People's face were open.
Yeah.
But it was not like intentional. I really wanted everybody's face to be open.
Yeah, but
since they were not around, so we decided to dress them and now use their voice where and I said that Latif, Emilio, shaking it, but that really worked.
It worked. It ended up working.
And the reaction from the cast, people thought that was the trailer for the film. People were like, people are just shooting the film. People have mind. You're shooting kind of video before you do shoot film. What the hell? So like, I hope the pressure is on.
You called me in November, I think. And then you're like, oh, Remy, I'm going to cinema. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then you said, okay, come for the private screening. And I watched the movie for the first time with the first audience to watch it. And yeah, I was like, okay, yes. This madam has something on her hands.
So for me, I keep saying that anything worth doing, I thought it was doing well. So I just thought people would sell a product that they buy into, they key into the vision of the project.
Yeah.
It's easier for you to sell. If I trust this product, I can sell it.
Yeah,
because I understand the product. So I wanted the cast to watch it, not just watching it to the bar. Again, I wanted my investors to watch and not just say, oh, they're just talking about Red Circle.
Yeah.
Like, what's it about?
Yeah.
I was quite pleased with that because I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Actors very rarely get to see the finished product of their performance until everybody else is seeing it. So we tend to just watch it and just be like, yo, it's not the best. And truly, if the project is rubbish, it's silent. As far as my contract allows. So I was nervous watching it with investors and everyone. I didn't know how it would turn out.
And that was quite interesting because I did not even go into. I was outside.
Yeah, I
watching.
remember.
No, you entered inside. But me, I was just very scared. Like, hey, all this noise.
Yeah, I think that was when I knew that because it was
yes. So when I was outside, I was hearing noise inside. I was not sending message that what's going on. People like the film. Fatimah was like, calm down. They like it. And there were just 40 people that were invited. We could hear people's reaction like, okay.
Yeah.
Then when we now entered, we had investors say, oh, I'm proud of you. I mean, one of my investors sent me a message and said, I wish you were my daughter. That was so cute, guys. That was so cute. And just seeing even the actors happy.
That was the first
time
confidence booster
most of
that
them
we had.
Yeah.
Young people have come together and have shown that the future of Nollywood is in great hands. For me, I want now to be an enabler of more nights, like this and more content like Red Circle.
I mean, shout out to Moses. So I had spoken to Moses and said, Moses, you needed to just see your goodwill for us. Do you get?
Yeah,
I feel like I've stretched these actors. Yes, I called him. I was like, I feel like I've stretched these actors enough. That you needed to use your goodwill for us. So please. He was like, Nora, I'm going to back this film. He's very passionate and I really like him. I'm going to back this film. Don't worry, I've put my word in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So he was like, mine was to draft all the actors' numbers and names, and send to him. And he made sure he sent the message and called. And next thing, we are in the room hosted by now, and we had our actors some of the ones that were able to make it, and the ones that could not, we had to give them like a download of what happened, and we pitched to both the now team and the actors in question. And everybody was like, yeah.
I think the next one we had on the I Said What I Said screening,
Yeah.
that was the one that we now had the public screening. That's the one we did not think that was going to be a problem. And that was now even the one that
I feel like every time we just felt like we had like smooth sailing, something just
comes up.
And we get there, fills up pretty quickly. Everyone's very enthusiastic, like the whole fills up. I mean, I knew they had a following, but it's very different when you're like, and it's the energy, like it was buzzing. That's it, all right? Let's settle in. I had my little cashmere, like scarf. I was cuddled up with a mom because she was cold. So we like wrapped ourselves together. I sat right in the back because I want to watch the audience reacting. And then the film starts. And immediately I knew there's something wrong.
Our dialogue was not playing, music was not playing, only Foley.
The intro, it's the first few minutes of a film. That's what grabs your attention. That's what draws you in. So to have the first few minutes of a film fucked up, you're like, they're going to hate this whole thing. It's a disaster. So we start running back and forth. I jog out of the cinema hall to go find out. I go upstairs. Nora and them have gone off already. You see that there's chaos ensuing.
And I remember running to the back, like shouting, why? Like, probably.
That's the first time I'm going behind a cinema, like, what is behind.
Yeah, I'd gone during the yes, I knew what it was.
That was my first time going behind. I was like, oh, so this is what you people won't do here. But I was like, okay, our film is not working.
I said what I said, girls. Jola and FK, they start playing games with the audience just to keep them engaged. While waiting, their time is going, like an hour is gone, an hour and a half. We're like, yo, hey God, what? So my heart is sinking because I'm just like, man, this whole thing has to be up. Like, they're going to go home. They're not going to see. I said, but they have to see the film. They can't have come out to not see the film. So I go back up. Somebody's shoes are off. Their hair is all over the place. Our distributors have come in. People are running. I'm like, guys, whatever happens, we have to play the film.
2 hours of madness. We had to like call our distributors.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mundo and nowhere. Like they came down.
Came all the way.
Nowhere came with like I had looking at that and she just showed up. Moses ran down.
And it was good they came because they now ended up watching the film with and saw the reaction themselves.
That was I didn't watch the film with them. And I eventually came in, but most were like, let's go and watch and let's just see what it looks like.
That was crazy.
Almost into it. I think that's one of the best audience reactions that we've had. They were raving about it. They were talking about it, and that was like nice to see. Just like all the hard work that you had done, because just 2 hours before we were running mad and moving from one place to another, trying to solve what the problem was.
I've never felt that level of euphoria since my first film. Crowd was that energy, good bumps. I still feel it now when I talk about that day. I love that. Was the moment I was like, we have a film. Up until that moment, I was like, the film is good to me, but I don't know if people will like this film. And I said, I was like, oh, we have a film. And then I was just ready for the premiere. I was like, yeah, we made a good film.
I think arguably the I Said What I Said advanced screening was the most enjoyable public viewing of Red Circle that I've had in the Red Circle viewing cinema run, because they were the most vocal, the most engaged, the most into it. There was screaming and hollering, there was laughter, there was shouts of fix up and down the place. Banana Island, it was a standing ovation, and I was incredibly humbled.
Again, going to the cinema was me thinking that we needed more on like what our PR, what this look like. Shout out to Kitty Modi, shout out to Fatima for the first year. We had like non-so and in our brand activation, we had Femi doing like digital. So we had like what I did was intentionally just pick people and spreading the theme out of.
As Noso would say, you picked the Avengers of marketing.
Basically, I just felt okay, yes. And I think what's different, because anytime people ask me, and I was like, I knew what I wanted. Like, it's not just picking people and say, Phil, did you get, or just throw in ideas. Well, I mean, people, we talk about bounce out ideas and just like chat and everything, but most of the times I ideated and said, this is what I think we should do.
Yeah.
Then it's now like, how do we amplify individually to make this thing work?
And then Nora unveiled the 6-month marketing plan. I was like, Jesus, what are we doing? I was really worried. I thought that, we were going to be spending, like way too much on marketing the film. But then the first images of the promo dropped and I was blown away.
Groundbreaking, by the way, beautiful. Like there's a picture of my Instagram wallpaper now is one of the pictures, with silk.
People like Fatimah, Ireme, and Abdul, they're involved, and Kikimori, their involvement in the entire marketing process was brilliant. I was shocked, and you see some reactions online where people were like, people, they are overdoing this, people, nobody likes this, like, I don't know what they're doing, But people doubted the marketing, strategy, but I was a strong believer that we're doing something unique.
First of all, whatever you saw in the marketing campaign, just know that we had like 24 other ideas that we put in the trash.
Yes.
It was a lot. And another thing, you said was, when you said, you remember, we were pitching this idea to not just our distributors, the actors too. You said, I specifically remember you saying you want the document to be visually appealing because you want people to look at it and just want to keep scrolling till they get to the end.
I loved the approach. I loved the ideas. Here and there too, I was very, I was putting out the ideas out there and, trying to make sure, okay, let's implement this, let's implement that in my work, along with the great other ideas, the team had. And for me, it was more like a survey because I really wanted to see how the audience will react to the marketing because we see it's beautiful, but then will it travel? Will it get the numbers out? Because a lot of financial and physical, all sorts of resources went into the marketing. And it's more like, okay, a different approach, but, let's see what the numbers will be.
Did it convert? I think it did. I think we created something that Nollywood has not seen. Because it wasn't just marketing again. It was experiential. It was
like community.
Exactly. The community was there. People were waiting for the next phase.
People were suggesting what we should do. We're red.
People were waiting for the next phase. People were thinking, okay, this is what.
Yes, this is what
it was fun. And even so, for us behind the scenes, we were like, okay, guys, this one that I'm putting out next. Are you sure that to top this one? I mean, there was one that we really thought, it will hit. And that was the letter from your circle. When she told me the idea of, remember, I don't like the fact that actors are just seen as tools. I want to appreciate them too. I want to do this, let's get together.
Remember, when we thought we were not going to get people because I was like, remember, you need to do it. I said, prove to me you can do this.
That was your first challenge. That was the first challenge. She said, for you to say that you're marketing guy, prove to me that you can get this one done. I said, see this baby, you want the 1 minute.
Yeah.
And it was, it was 1 week of crazy back to back.
And we're now calling people and imagine talking to your actor's family and you don't want your actors to know.
Bro,
we're now reaching out people.
There's one person I'm going to give you how I got these guys, people to. That was Chief Femi Branch.
Yeah.
I had to call a producer that has worked with his friend who's also a producer. That one now linked me with his other friend as a professor. I'm like, how I even figured out that they knew each other was just through Instagram. I was like, oh, they work together. Let me just call this person. And, getting the reactions of their family and friends being like, oh, this is really cool. Yes, I'll do it. I thought Letter from Rixel would be the loudest. Remember, I was always saying that. I didn't even use you're the one that.
My favorite.
You're the one that was. You kept on pushing it to me that, remember, this letter, that's my friend, that's my friend.
So the teaser did well.
Yes.
The teaser did well.
And the videos did well, like, on their own in different angles.
The personalized, were emotional, yeah.
Bookie Rat's own blew the internet. Bro.
Yeah, that one where she was crying.
Yeah, her reaction sends people into a frenzy. But the community card, April. I remember the first day we released that thing. First of all,
oh, we should time up for me.
What are you people doing?
What are you doing?
People were tweeting at us. What are you people doing? What is this? This one are called to this one. Different things. And then we now started seeing entries from places like Kenya, places like Russia.
We had locations because you could put your locations on it.
It was crazy.
We had locations. At the end of the day, we had almost, last time I checked, it was almost 4,000 sign-ups, and that was 2 months.
And one thing, that was what gingered Moses to be like, okay, you know what? That's when he started pushing for the international release because it was like, yes, there's a community
for me. What was important for me, because I realized my pros and cons, you're not the most popular producer out there to get, and people are
popular.
I mean, they're not the most popular producers out there, but basically you need to build like your own community of people that, not just for Red Circle. And I think that's the most important thing that I want to take out of this was the publicity of Red Circle for me was going to help just not Red Circle as a person, but every other person that worked on it. And for Rixel Studios and the studio, to get for me as Nora, for me to be able to enter rooms and say, oh, Nora worked on Red Circle, or she's like the creator of Red Circle, you get, and people will be like, yes, I can bank this on this project because like they've created something that is what you get everybody emulating. I remember when saying that we're taking Mike to Ibadan to go and shoot, and that was quite exciting.
The video I want to...
That video went far than what I even thought, because he had even sent me collaboration.
And you know, that day I thought, so we were even late to get to Ibadan. And when we got to Ibadan and we're picking streets, randomly, I'm not even whining you, we're seeing red car or red like there were just red things.
Subconscious, like when
there
you
were red things on the roads we're shooting on, and I was like, man, see, this thing is divine.
After we're just like exhausted.
Yeah, I would always say this: producers need to give marketing more thought. Like marketing shouldn't be an afterthought, and that's one thing Nollywood is used to doing. Marketing is an afterthought. You know, when they shot and film is close to release, maybe a month to release, and I'll be like, oh, let me find who will market, call somebody, call. Like, marketing should be part of your writing, because so many ideas can come from even when you're writing and be like, okay, you know what? Let's shoot this thing that we can use in marketing into the film. It makes a lot of sense if you have somebody in marketing while you are writing, while you're about to start shooting, because that person can say, okay, just infuse this, you know, we can use it for a brand later. Put this brand there, we can talk to this brand later. Then look at, we've put your brand placement, all of this. It's very important. So I think Nollywood producers should actually take marketing seriously and, you know, be willing to explore and just try new things.
It's going to be referenced, both the film and the marketing efforts behind the film. It's going to be referenced for a while to come in Nigerian cinema and filmmaking, which is very cool.
The biggest challenge was probably the premiere. That was as chaotic as can be.
Not the premiere deal.
Yeah, just the whole planning, because we had lost our location a week before.
Was it a week or like 4 days before?
Well, fair. Yes, and we're now looking for a location last minute.
At the premiere, it was more to see, usually after you do a project, it's just to see the audience's reaction. So I won't say nerves, you know, it's just to actually catch the moment. And also, most times when I happen to watch movies like that, though I know what happened, but I think it was my second time watching, but now you're watching with the eyes of the audience. So that was like a fresh experience for me. And then I actually sat down and enjoyed it. The document was sitting behind and let us hear what. Oh yeah, so that was pretty interesting. So we enjoyed it. Was very enjoyable. The audience reacted at the moment you expect them to react.
Yeah, you see industry, you know, colleagues come to meet me and say, oh, okay, that was amazing, you did a great job. You know, seeing people appreciate the film for what it was made me, you know, really grateful, you know, and made me appreciative of the long-term planning that the film had. You know, when the people that were going to cinema, I was so happy because I love, you know, the cinema audience. That is my audience. You know, I love these guys. These people pay their money. People are Nigerians. So when they react to your films, you know, they get the little nuances here and there. And that's the best part, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I love the entire marketing strategy and everything that we did for the premiere. So thank you guys for watching the film. I mean, I'm really grateful. Like, what's that? Special.
What does this film represent for you personally and professionally?
I think for me, it shows growth. Like, it's my first time as EP or for a feature film. It's not just for me, like it's for like our clan, our gang. Like we have,
I've come this far.
Yeah, I've come this far because it's like we all take the way we have all grown. Like we all take leaps at the same time. Like when one person does something big, you know that the other people are about to or are around that.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, and this was like our biggest leap so far. So it just felt like growth for everybody, and it was like a statement for us. So basically, that's what it sums up to. Really, growth. It's like the biggest challenge we have faced so far, which I feel like in a few years is going to be one of the smallest challenges we've had because But yeah, it just shows how we have grown.
I think for me, it's also sticking to the fact that you can do art. Like,
Yeah.
you can do art sense. Again, because what I'd always wanted was something to stretch me. So it felt like it did the job that I wanted to. Like, all of those. Now I can manage, like, certain situations better. I can have, like, good conversations better. I can... Even my communication is now better because the way I would want to be communicated to is the way I try to communicate with the actors and even the crew members. And just give them as much information as you can. Also, it's also knowing that professionally that, again, like, people can bank on this person to be able to handle, like, tough situations. You get, and seeing, like, we, like, grown ahead to treat it, say, cool. You've grown up, not just a photographer that started, you're now like a cinematographer, not just as a producer, even at you're spearheading a project that big at let's say cool. And I mean, youngest producer.
I mean, youngest producer to cross 100 million.
I mean, do I mean easy? But yeah, there is all of that. But also just reinforcing the fact that I think I was having a discussion with Tolu the other day where like growth comes from like discomfort. I feel like if I am so comfortable, I have the money that I want, I'll probably not be here talking and I've been like saying I want to make. It's just there's always one challenge that just shits you out of like saying yeah, I want to. And that was what Red Tech was for me. Like in the most uncomfortable situation, we found the way to just make things work. So they can feel really well.
You are with me. Let me hear you say, "No, don't back." One more. It's my pleasure. Okay. Super Blue. Mr. Motherfucking and Tolu. Clap for Mustafa. And I told my friends. Thank you today, man. Thank you for and Tolu! It was lovely doing this with every one of you. It was amazing. Very lovely. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Even give me the diamond chain. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It is a round.